Hello everybody, it's Crazy Logics 007 on YouTube, Crazy Logics in the forum, and everybody else just calls me Damon. I got an original Xbox One here, my brother gave to me, that he got given to him. Somebody had been in it before because if I get it out here where you can see it, the warranty sticker was smashed underneath the rest of the cover, so somebody had peeled it up and stuck it there. And then I noticed along the back edge and along these edges there was a bunch of pry marks where somebody had struggled greatly to get it out. And then the triangular button, well, it's kind of a trapezoid or something like that, whatever. Anyway, it's the piece that locks in that goes under the sync button was missing. I think I have one of those, but I powered it up. The light came on. The power supply that came with it went from amber to white, so that was good. It ejected and actually had a disc in it, Far Cry Primal, and it looked like it was in good shape. And it didn't, flash, blink, do anything crazy. Just would not give me any HDMI out to my test screen here. And so maybe it's just got an HDMI problem. I've looked at it. And if you get it doesn't look all that bad. But obviously somebody's been in here. It's not acting like it's shutting off, so we're going to go ahead and get her pulled apart. Probably fast forward through that and see if we can inspect the port in here. I do have a little somewhere here, yeah, a little what these are replacement ends for HDMI cables is what they're supposed to be. They come with a housing. You would wire up all your stuff under the wires, and then it repairs your HDMI cable, or makes where you can make a custom length one. But I just plug it in and use it for continuity between the jack itself and these pins out here to make sure that's good. So that's a little handy thing to have. Seen my mate Vince had one of those, so thanks Vince. Made me look one of those up. So go ahead and unclip the Wi-Fi from the front panel here and from that card, and we'll go ahead and unplug the speaker. And that just is on the front panel. And I got my handy dandy little drill driver. I should have all the right torque size up here. These are safety bits. What size is this? This is T8. So it looks like T8's the front panel. I only use my drill driver for disassembly. Never for putting stuff back together. So it looks like it's T8's on the front here, or at least the T8 security bit fits. Let me get these out and then I'll figure out the other size. And that allows to, when we lift this out, we can pull the front piece out. And we're going ahead and carefully remove the Wi-Fi card. These are still on the T8. When you do this one, give it wiggles as the connector is right underneath this row of pins. So give it some wiggles. They sometimes want to rip out, and sometimes, just to be extra safe, get your plastic spudger, because you can lift real easy on this end, but it's kind of hard here. You can get it underneath there. Rock it back and forth a little here. Like this one's pretty good and stuck. There it comes. And so you want it to come with the connector out here and leaving the plug down in there. And you have to take that out because there's this screw underneath here. And so that one should be the next size up, I believe. Yeah, and so that would be a T10. Is that right? Yeah, T10. Security bits. And what it means by security bit is they got the little holes in the end of them. So, all right. Get these out and So once you get all those screws out, you want to lift the whole thing up and kind of slide it away from the chassis. Looks like it's had some cockroach bugs or something in it. And now that it's out and we've got the 3 screws out of the front panel, we can wiggle the front panel piece off. If you go to take one of these off and you peel that up, the hard connector that's on that front panel, you have to flip up it's in there like that. This piece is around that, so you have to lift that up and then flick these out so you can slide that out. It's a real pain in the butt. If you're not careful, you'll tear stuff up. Tons of YouTube videos on how to disassemble these, but I'm just trying to do. So now when you raise this up, this port is still connected. You can take these 3 screws out to take that port out, but you can also just unplug it if you wiggle real gentle from the board right here. And that's the way I do it, and that way I got one less piece that I got to keep track of. And so she's kind of dirty, not too bad. It has half a terabyte, 500 gigabyte hard drive. We're going to go ahead and remove it gently. Come on, there we go. Same thing with the CD-ROM. It just lifts out. And then you got a screw here that is one of the security bits. Maybe if I put that driver bit right there. And it should be the T8, I think. It might be smaller, I don't know. It might be a 9. The 8 fits it. Like I said, I've got the screwdrivers to put it back together. So we take that out. I'm going to go ahead and stick this screw right back in here so I don't lose it. These clips come out by flexing that out so you can get that. And once you've got all that, it should kind of pull up. Oh, nope, sorry. Got to get the X clamp. And these are 2.8 also. And then there's one other set of screws on the bottom here. Always takes me a minute to remember based on all the different versions of Xbox and PS4 there are out there, so you have to kind of remember what you're doing. And then we'll go back to the T10 and we take these 2 silver screws out. That should allow us to flip this back over. And I'm putting the ports to the back away from me. I'm going to lift this up and kind of give that a little push that way and this a little pull. Same with that. And that's going to allow you to get it to come up. And I forgot the other 2 silver screws. God, it's been a while since I did an original Xbox. I've been doing lots of PlayStation. Let's try that one more time. See, I'm a goober, not a guru. Come on. I got all the screws this time, I'm positive. Yeah, there we go. Get it up out of there. So that's going to need a little cleaning, but one more dead bug. It goes right in the trash. Flip it over. And this looks pretty typical on the bottom side. You'll see flux residue stuff, you know, in certain specific spots. That's not water damage. That is definitely the residue from their manufacturing. We're going to go ahead and unplug the fan and then very carefully remove the X clamp because we want to get this thing all the way down. If it's as old as I think it is, it's going to go ahead and need thermal paste if we get it fixed. So I use a small Craftsman screwdriver, flat blade, and you need to protect the board with your hands as you're prying on this stuff. And so that one kind of came up a little easy. Once I get it a little bit up, pop, it's not on there super duper well. Just try to pick the ones that seem to want to come up the easiest. There we go. Once you get two of them, you can just slide it over and pop it out. That should allow you to lift the thing off, and it is got old thermal paste. It's not that bad. It's still got a little tack to it, but you can see all the dirt and stuff. We'll blow all that out with the air compressor. Let's get a paper towel. So we were getting no video display, so that can be a few things. This is the HDMI out. This is the HDMI in, so it's always the one. If you get confused, hang on. You can always go back to your metal tray. That's it. And they'll be labeled on there. HDMI in, HDMI out, but it's always the one. But the original Xbox is the one right by the power port. A lot of people, when these very first came out, and nobody had a source, a little history, nobody had a source for these HDMI ports. And so what everybody did to repair them if somebody broke one was they removed the in one and moved it over to here and just left nothing there because nobody ever used this really. Everybody just used the output one. So kind of funny. But they are available now, although you need proper stuff to remove these. And now I'm going to do a little inspecting. My loop's a little dirty. There we go. Alright, get everything straightened out here. Alright, so let's see. I may have to get my microscope out, but let's see how well this camera does. Once it stops shaking, get something down in there that'll focus on. It's trying. Alright. So let's see about firing up the microscope. So we'll get the microscope out here. I've built some adapter stuff and everything else. So the video port that we were watching will actually be that looking to see video out of this is the one that goes into my microscope, and it's a cheapie. It's not a high end, and I've got a light for it, but I'm looking for the power to it. I did have, oh, I did. It still is tucked in there. Excellent. Let's see if microscope comes up. Does not, because I didn't have it running when OSB was running. So let's see. There we go. I've got it over here on my auxiliary screen, but I need to focus. Focus down your son. Do I need my lens in there? Is that what the problem is? Yes. So I wonder. There we go. That'll give us some focus. Excellent. So if I go to, I think I can show it with the left screen. There we go. Now let's look here at this jack. Let's see if we can get it in view. If I wiggle this jack, just a little bit, I see broken connections. I swore I did anyway. There, or was it in the very back? Let me look with my loop real quick. These do not look like they're solid. These soldered down. Maybe they are. They do not look near as good as the other one. But maybe they look about the same under the microscope. So my loop was lying to me a little bit. So it looks like we've got connections. Bummer. I was really hoping to find one broke here. You know, easy and obvious. Now they tell you if you ain't getting video out, change HDMI port. Simple change for someone with the proper equipment. And that way you know it's a good HDMI port, because you just don't know what kind of abuse it's been through. So the other thing you need to check is coming down here is these right here. So let's get a toothy brush so we can clean that off a little, or I don't know where my toothbrush went, but at least a Q-tip. This whole thing needs cleaning something fierce. So let's at least wipe some junk away here. So these are little coils inside, and so I'm going to have my multimeter on diode mode, but there is a tiny coil that goes from this pin to that pin, and that's same all the way across. These middle two are ground, and there's coils. So there's 4 coils in each. So if we put our meter on continuity, there we go. It's a little hard to do this under the microscope, for me anyway. I'm not as proficient. You should get a beep there, and then when you go to the next one, you should not get a beep until you move the probe to the next one. And then on ground, we don't want cross conductance. Alright, so we're going to check this next one. That's good. That's good. I'll go ground. That's good. Go to the next one. Oop, that's good. And the last one. So, it looks like those filters are good. I don't think... let's see if it goes through those, then it goes along here. Then it goes under. Like I said, get confused here with what's Xbox and what's PS4 and all that stuff. Like I said, I don't do it. I don't do these every day, so. Sorry, I had to get a drink. So I have to kind of remember where I was, whatever. But I don't think this one has like a retimer chip, unless it's maybe over here. I'd have to look, but I don't. I can't remember what that one is. Like I said, I'm not expert. But my first bet would be taking this port out. We can do a little attempted stuff with this jack. So you plug that in, and you get your spectacles because you can't see. Don't get anything on that one. And now if I flex it, so maybe it's a little, but I would have thought I'd have got something happening when I wiggled it. Wiggled the HDMI cable. So, I don't know. Let me go back and look at my notes and see if I have anything else on this before we go ahead and just replace that out of precaution or give it another test. Some other things that can keep it from going up is what I'm thinking I need to find in my notes. So give me a minute, and that way we can make sure we're Doing the right stuff. Okay, so I'm a bonehead. Before I tore all this down, I forgot there is a way to test and see if it's booting up and if your hard drive is good. And that it's more your thing out. And that is with your Xbox controller. If it will sync to the Xbox, and this one is mine, and so it's never been synced to this. If it will sync, that means it's booted up, and that means the hard drive is working. So I should have done that before I took it all apart. So we're going to do a little magic of YouTube, and I'm going to slap this back together enough and hook the video up enough to go ahead and slide this back. Without destroying everything on my workbench. Alright. Going ahead and test the sync thing. So, little magic of YouTube. Okay, you can see by the little white light, I've got the Xbox up, it's spinning. I've got my controller here, the sync button is built in right here. I'm trying to get that to go. I want to put my thing there, and I'm going to hit the sync. I'm going to try to hit this sync button here. Nothing. Alright, so the other thing that you can do, I can find my cable. So we're not getting a flash for a sync here. Let's get out a micro USB. Plug it in. I'll plug it into the USB here, and we should get a sync. Still flashing. Still trying to sync. And we're getting no sync. So, what that tells me, let's turn this thing off. So we probably actually have a hard drive issue. So, let's go ahead and take the power out, take that out. Now this, I noticed this cover was broke right here. I don't know if that's broke or supposed to be two pieces, but I've got some scrap Xboxes that I can get some parts off of. As a matter of fact, I got one of the limited edition ones that makes all the extra cool noises. It's got the cool packaging, and if I'm not mistaken, that all that cool sounds they say is on this little chip on the front panel. So might even make it a fancy one. So I just cheated and took the speaker out. It's just clipped in to keep that ribbon cable on there. Ever be gentle here. Get that lifted out. Come here. Unplug that. So I'm going to unplug the hard drive. And I think if you power it up this way, it should come up and tell you, like, oops, something went wrong. Let's get back to that. We're not going to worry about the Wi-Fi module, and where did I put my cover? By the way, this comes off the front by just gently lifting all these clips. That front's a big plastic piece. You just gently lift these and this thing will pop off, and that makes it so much nicer. Automatically came on when I plugged it in. I've got it on my screen here to see. That's what I'm looking at. And then somewhere, PS4 mount. I'm looking. Thought I had the Xbox jump drive here handy. Nothing. We're still stuck. I gotta find my jump drive. I got my PS4 one here, and I got my Linux Mint for working on hard drives, but I don't see my Xbox one. So give me a minute. Let me go find it, and we're going to plug that into the USB here to see if we can't start it up in safe mode. Okay, so I'm a bonehead. There's a couple things that I just told you it'd been a little while since I worked on an Xbox. I did a bunch of PS4s between here and there, and I'd kind of got off the Xboxes. They dwindled in popularity faster than the PS4s, but it's been a while since I even done a game console, and so my brain was a little off. So this is the hard drive out of this thing. And remember, I was telling you the little trick with the controller for the syncing, and I was thinking, man, you know, that HDMI port looks good and all that stuff. Well, you can take the hard drive out and you can hook it up to your computer and you can run Crystal Disk Info to see if the hard drive's any good. So, you know, I got my adapter and I hooked it up and I went to plug it into my computer and the hard drive never even showed up. It is dead. So, I got a hard drive. This one's a 1 terabyte out of another PS4 that needs reballed. So let's plug that all in. Okay. And then I'm going to switch you to my screen view. I'm going to hit the button here. I think we're plugged in. Are we plugged in? Yeah, we're orange here. We got that. So I'm going to do that, and I'll switch you over to my screen. And so let's see. The fan is spinning. Uh-oh, something's happening. Ha ha ha. Now, it will not boot. It's going to fail because that hard drive's out of a different Xbox. And so it's not going to work. But I also found my jump drive that's Xbox One OSU 1. So, should be able to plug that in the back, power this thing down, let it shut off for a second here, and then if I remember right, I don't think I have to hit the sync button on this. I think I just have to hold these two down together for 10 seconds. I may have to look them up. The light came on. There's the second beep. That's what we was looking for. Oh, and I'll switch over to the left screen, and it's coming in here. There you can see it. And now I've got the controller still plugged in. I need that's all plugged in. I do need to put the Wi-Fi module on. So while this is doing its thing, let me switch back here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this plug assembly out of there so I can just dangle the Wi-Fi over there, over back into here, so that we can do that. Or maybe I'll see about slipping this together. Hang on, let's see what this thing does first of all. Nope, we want left screen. There we go. But everything does need to be hooked up correctly. All the components and the Wi-Fi and all that stuff for it to work. It's hung here for quite some time. Let's see what happens. Maybe it didn't actually go to safe mode. Maybe it's just trying to boot up and it's not gonna. Oh, here we go. Something's went dark. Okay. Hit the button on my controller. So there's that. Go back to the left screen here. It said external media storage ready. I'm hoping that didn't mean my jump drive. By the way, not expert on fixing everything wrong with these, but I'm learning. Did it on a whole bunch of them during the lockdown and stuff because the new systems weren't out in sufficient quantity yet, and everybody had broken ones and was desperate to get them fixed. So I kind of just started teaching myself how to do them. Like I said, PS4s were way extra abundant or in demand. And the Xbox is not quite so much, but alright, it's still not doing anything. So trying to remember a tiny bug right there. Maybe you do have to hold the sync button to get it to do. Like I said, I think this one's broke, but I may be wrong. It may be supposed to flop like that, but it sure looks cracked. That looks like a crack, not dirt. Yeah, it looks like somebody tried to glue it, so I'm probably going to put a different faceplate. I may do something wild and crazy with this. I don't know. So let's shut it down. Let's try holding that sync button. I did not continue to. Oh, there's a second beep. Hey, that's what we needed. Okay, so original Xboxes, it's hold the sync button down, the eject button down, tap the power button, and continue to hold the sync and eject button. And so now we should. Oh, I did not mean to hit that. I just got it to try to boot again, trying to get the thing. Okay, I'm going to shut it down and get the Wi-Fi on it. All right. So let's go in ahead and find my there's the bit I need. I don't know where my little screwdrivers went. Pull this apart. Oh, no, no, no. I want to leave it there. I am going to kill the power because I want to go ahead and slip this on. Oh, and we need to plug this in. So I want the Wi-Fi, and I want to see if I can get synced to the controller. Is that in there? Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and stick this back in there. And clip the speaker back in its home. There we go. We can get the Wi-Fi card. Move the antenna out of the way. Really carefully. Connect that and connect it to the front panel. Come on. You know, it helps. So I can see what the heck I was doing. Don't get old. There we go. Okay. Got everything connected. We'll bring power back up to the brick. Orange is on. Controller vibrated, so we're going to hold the sync button, the eject button, tap the power button, and hold it down. And then we'll wait for another beep. There we go. And so now I should hit the thing on my controller. And now the direction pad is going to let me move it around. And let's see if I go to left screen. Now the direction pad. So we don't want to continue. We don't want to reset this Xbox. We want to offline system update. And that's where my little jump drive right there is supposed to be doing it. So we'll see how this does. Like I said, this is done through my computer monitor through a USB HDMI adapter, and so that's why you're seeing all this extra stuff. This is camera in Windows 10. So I'll fast forward through all this. Let's see if it gets through it, and if we can't get a functional Xbox here, then we can clean it, new thermal paste, and put it back together and fix this front cover and find a sync button for it. So it works. Uh, I just explained a bunch of stuff and realized I didn't have my microphone on, but that's what it needed. I went ahead and signed in. I may leave some of that in the fast forward so that you can see that I was a goofball. So what we have is a working Xbox. It needed a hard drive. The hard drive was bad. So let me go full overhead here. Um, a lot of times nobody gets anything on the screen, and so they think bad HDMI port. Da 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 da. Well, that's why, just without taking anything apart, get a different controller that's not originally paired to it, or even just knowing that it'll sync to your one controller. If your controller won't hook up to it, won't do the flashy sync and stuff with it, then it could be a hard drive issue. Of course, then I was a little bit of a moron and took forever to get around to just pull the stupid hard drive out, get you a USB adapter so that you can hook it up to your computer and run a program called Crystal Disk Info, and that'll do a health check on the drive. And this drive wouldn't even show up in Windows, so you wouldn't even had to have that program to know that it was bad. It just won't even show up in Windows. It was so dead. So that kills that. We put in a known working hard drive that Crystal Disk Info said was good out of another Xbox, so it won't boot when you do that correctly. It'll come up, and we got to see on the display I showed you there that it would actually give us the Xbox logo, but it's not going to final boot. You use the OSU1 from Microsoft's website. You can get that and download it and put it on a jump drive, and you plug that in. Then you can do an Xbox update with a known working hard drive. And since we'd proven that the HDMI was good, Shazam. Also, I don't know if I showed it or if I had the mic muted at the time, but I synced the controller and it works. I can show you here, left screen. See, I am doing bonk, 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 bonk. So that all works good. So, like I said, the controller little trick can tell you if you're not actually booting the main Xbox, and that will tell you if it really is an HDMI problem. Because if it does boot and you can get sync and everything, then and you're not getting any display, then it probably is an HDMI. If not, it's a hard drive. Hard drives aren't super cheap, but they're reasonable, and they can get you fixed. So here's a Goober. I'm gonna clip all this crap in to show, even when you're space cadetting and forgot what you did 6 months ago, you can kind of remember the steps. You can work your way through it and do a couple tests to find out if it is. And just by taking your time and having the right couple bits, if it was a dead hard drive, you can revive your old Xbox One. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this one. Wait to see what my brother wants to do, because he, like I said, he just got this given to him, and so the cost of a hard drive, the cost of a controller. He doesn't have a controller. He doesn't even have the power cable for the brick. He had the brick, but no power cable. It needs the sync button hookup. It needs this repaired. So there's a whole bunch of parts I'm going to have to scrounge up. And so some of that I can give to him. Some of it he's going to have to pay for, because that hard drive actually goes to that special edition. If he doesn't want to do it, and if he just wants to give it away, if he doesn't care, because he wasn't even sure if he wanted it, he just happened into it, then I think I'm gonna make it the special edition one with the fun little boot up, and make sure that's on that front board. Like I was telling you, I think the sound effects somebody said was on this front board, on the chip that's back there. If so, that'd be cool. So it's a little more unique of an Xbox One. It will be 1 terabyte instead of 500 gigabyte. So that'll be cool. Get the correct black, nice power cable. I did notice that when we was doing all these, this brick is making some whiny noise in the fan. I got a video of fixing one of these that had bad caps. While I was fixing it, I showed lubricating the fans. So I'm going to pop this apart and clean it and lubricate the fans, just like I'm going to clean all this and put new thermal compound on. But besides that, functional, that's what we needed. And I'm going to wipe it and totally update it and make it all good as new and ready to roll. So Awesome. If you learned a little something, if you laughed at me, that's cool. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Uh, there's great. Oh, and if for people that are needing more info on maybe how to troubleshoot their own, because these are getting old enough now with the new ones out that it's people want to put less and less money into them, so they're looking for somewhat cheap fixes. I think at the time the hard drives that work in these are $65, $60, something like that. Uh, they go up and down. The price goes up and down, so don't quote nobody on that. It could be $40 one day and $100 the next, and crazy stuff. So, uh, but the coder, that's COD3R. He is a guy over in England that does a whole bunch of console repairs. Andrew Paul, and it's YT Andrew Paul, YouTube. Andrew Paul, YT Andrew Paul. My mate Vince, I love my mate Vince. He's done several things on several consoles. And then there's the Game Console Repair Legion. And those are awesome group of guys. I'm in their Facebook group, and they've let me in, thankfully, even though I'm a goober. So shout out to them. They're awesome. And they help people out. And then they have a website, and a website that also contains links to authorized, that approved repair places that know what they're doing. So if you've got like a special edition console of one of these that you really want to keep for a long time and it needs work, that's the guys you want to go to, here in the U.S. anyway. So they're awesome. And thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you next time.